Democrats continue to distance themselves from the president and his policies. Take a look at DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and her absolute refusal to answer a very simple, basic question about that yesterday. Take a look.
Is this election about President Obama's policies?
This election is about making sure that we elect a Congress that will focus on the priorities that people care about the most.
Is the president's policies on the ballot?
Reince, I let you finish.
Question.
I agree with Darrell Issa. And what Darrell Issa said was that we need, about the EBOLA crisis, is that we need to make sure that we recognize that we have to keep our people safe.
What's on the ballot? Are they the president's policies?
Are they the president's policies or not? Are the president's policies on the ballot?
Thanks, Reince. Maybe you could let Candy ask me the questions rather than
She's been doing a great job of it so far. Debbie still hasn't answered the question as far as whether the president's policies are on the ballot. Are the president's policies on the ballot? Yes or no?
In the economy.
Are the president's policies on the ballot?
Yes or no? On the ballot. Versus your candidate.
And things aren't going well, Debbie. Things are not going well in this country.
Like an old Hannity and Combs show. Anyway, a new Republican National Committee ad is reminding voters that although Democrats might not want the president's policies on the ballot, well, he's the leader of the party, and his policies are, in fact, a huge concern. Take a look.
ISIS gaining ground, terrorists committing mass murder, Ebola inside the U.S., Americans alarmed about national security. What's President Obama doing? Making plans to bring terrorists from Guantanamo to our country. Ignoring the Constitution, Congress, and the American people. November 4th, Obama's policies are on the ballot. Vote to keep terrorists off U.S. soil. Vote Republican.
All right, here with reaction, Fox News contributor Tucker Carlson, Democratic strategist Joe Trippi, and author of the New York Times bestseller George Washington's Secret Six, which is now available in paperback today. He's the co-host of Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. All right, Trippi, let's go to the president. He said his policies were on the ballot. Take a look.
Now, I'm not on the ballot this fall. Michelle's pretty happy about that. But make no mistake, these policies are on the ballot. Every single one of them.
Why don't Democrats want to admit they even know him or voted for him or agree with him when a lot of them voted with him 99% of the time?
Well, look, the president's policies are always, they are what midterm elections are end up being about. They always have been, always will. The question is, are they a big drag? Can they be a big plus? For some presidents, they've been big pluses. This time around, it's going to be a drag on Democrats. What's fascinating to me about it is, as low as the president's approval ratings are, most of the Democrats in these races, as you pointed out with Bill Hemmer, are, they're right in it. I mean, this is really nip and tuck in a lot of those races, Sean. So, yes, is his policy or his policies impacting this? Of course they are.
But you've been in this game a long time. If it's even or if the Republican even has a slight lead heading into the election, the odds are they're going to win that race, right?
I think, look, what I would say is when you've got incumbents under 50, many of them in the low 40s, mid 40s, they're in deep trouble. That's a very tough thing to come out from. And yes, what's part of what's dragging them down there is the president's approval ratings and disgruntlement with policies.
Tucker, as I put up on the screen here, the 6 Democratic Senate candidates, their percentage of the vote with Obama, you got Pryor 90. You got Udall 99, Hagan 96, Begich 97, Landrieu 97, Shaheen 99. So I would think that every one of their opponents is using that in every stump speech, right?
Well, it's kind of hard to claim they're independent voices for their states at that point. I mean, they're like, like most members of the Senate, they're pretty much in lockstep with their party. Their party's unpopular. I would say, though, to the Debbie Wasserman Schultz clip, which is actually giving me a headache just thinking about it, the White House is campaigning. They're just not campaigning nationally. So they're doing ads on Spanish language media. The president is talking on black radio, for example, in Georgia. They're trying to get out the vote, but just to their constituencies. They're only using dog whistles. They're not speaking to the broad population here because they know that they're unpopular. But among some certain demographics,
so they're trying to get their base
turned
out. Is what they're trying to do. Will that strategy work, or is the president too big a drag?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with Paul Begala that the president's rusty. that he made 2 big errors in 3 days, and it hurt his party. And I could not believe Joe Manchin, who I like, I think he's a great guy. He says these moderate Democrats in these states who constantly have gone against the president have found themselves in tough races. Listen, they're not moderate Democrats. There's no such thing. There's really very few moderate Republicans. I mean, right now, you cannot run away from the track record of voting with the president. I actually think it's a character flaw within those senators. All you have to do is what Michelle Nunn finally did yesterday. I mentioned to you on radio. She goes, listen, I agree with the president on some things, and I disagree. He disappointed me here. This is where he didn't disappoint me.
Yeah, but she went through the same contortion. She couldn't admit she voted for Obama.
She got it. Yesterday, she got it right. Yeah. It took him 2 weeks, and nobody else got it right.
Yeah. But still, the point is, Michelle Nunn is ahead and in it in Georgia.
No, she's not ahead anymore. The latest poll has her down by 3.
That is a minor miracle given the drag, given the state. And the drag that is happening with the president's approval.
There's a convergence of events in Georgia, and I live there. I think ultimately it goes red. You're right, closer than people would have anticipated. But you have Jimmy Carter's grandson and Sam Nunn's daughter. These are well-established names in the state of Georgia.
Good Democratic names.
Right. There's no such thing.
Hey, Saxby Chambliss is in a runoff. It's a close state that usually goes Republican.
And I think with the runoff, I think the advantage goes to the Republican at that point. But all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back more with our panel after the break.
Thank you all for coming. As you know, just 2 days ago, another American, this time a doctor in New York, was diagnosed with Ebola. Now, some people want to criticize the way our administration has handled this crisis. And it's true, we made a few mistakes early on, but I assure you, it was nowhere near as bad as how we handled the ISIS situation. I mean, our various Secret Service mishaps, or the scandals of the IRS and the NSA. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the Obamacare website had some pretty serious problems too. In fact, if you look at all the stuff that's happened my second term, this whole Ebola thing is probably one of my greatest accomplishments.
All right, here with more Fox News contributors Tucker Carlson, Joe Trippi, and the co-host of Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. All right, Joe, let's go over, if we can, all the epic failure of Ebola. First, it wasn't going to make it to our shores, the president. In the unlikely event it gets here, we can stop it in its tracks. Every hospital in America is equipped to handle it, none of which is true. The CDC gives the green light to the nurse to fly on Frontier Airlines. Self-monitoring is going to work, except for the doctor that decides to go bowling and go on the train, the A train and the L train. And then he hires a lobbyist, a hack, who was a chief of staff to Gore and Biden to be the Ebola czar. Which of those mistakes do you think is the most egregious?
Well, no, look, I think the CDC should have launched its SWAT team into Dallas immediately as soon as they knew there was a case down there. I mean, there are mistakes that definitely were made.
There were a lot of mistakes. And they changed the protocols today once again. For example, would you have we have world-renowned doctors. We have the best military people in the entire world. Wouldn't you have appointed somebody like that instead of a political operative and a former lobbyist?
I've said publicly I would have appointed Larry Brilliant, who led 140,000 health professionals in eradicating smallpox. So there are people that I think would have helped assuage people's fears of this disease, because their fears and the panic far outweigh the real risks.
All right. So what does that say? That says Obama cares more about politics than he does about the health issues associated with it?
By the way, where is Ron Klain? He could have come out this weekend. He could have come out last weekend. He could have testified. We can't find him. And by the way, where's Thomas Frieden? We have a better chance of seeing Bo Bergdahl than we do of Thomas Frieden. They realize this guy's terrible on camera. Most of the stuff he says is not true. So they have to quickly call it audible. So all we get is Dr. Faust over the weekend. Fauci over the weekend explaining a few things. I give so much credit to the governor of Florida, the governor of New Jersey, and the governor of New York.
No, the governor of New Jersey and the governor of New York went out and they pulled back.
No, they're making them have house quarantine as opposed to hospital quarantine.
Tucker, we're quarantining our military for 21 days in Italy. This nurse, I understand she's upset. We'll talk about it more later. But seriously, if you're in contact with Ebola patients, you need to be quarantined. I think that's just basic common sense.
No, but that's bigoted. Ebola is from Africa, Sean. You know that.
So I'm being a bigot for saying, well, if you go to Africa,
look,
and you're
this is really simple. It's a handy rule of thumb. if you're in disagreement on a policy level with the administration, you're bigoted. Ask their chief domestic policy advisor, Al Sharpton. It's really, really simple.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the 2016 election for a minute. Obama, it was a big deal when he said, you didn't build that. And then Hillary Clinton made a similar statement that corporations and businesses don't create jobs. Listen to this stupidity.
Don't let anybody tell you that, it's corporations and businesses that create jobs. You know, that old theory, trickle-down economics. That has been tried. That has failed.
Hey, Joe, do businesses create jobs? Do corporations create jobs, Joe?
No, and she tried to clean that up today.
She tried to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says our economy grows when businesses and entrepreneurs create good-paying jobs here in America,
Right.
kind of saying, oops, I screwed up the other day, trying to be more liberal than Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what she did. I don't know what she was trying to say.
I know what she was trying to say, that businesses and corporations don't create jobs.
No, I think she was trying to say tax breaks for them don't create jobs, which we can get into an argument about that. But
I love when we try to get in the minds of people that screw up pretty badly. Tucker?
Yeah, I'm not...
well, she shouldn't be speaking without a script, obviously. I mean, if you've watched Hillary Clinton speak, the salient thing you take away is this is a deeply banal person. Maybe not a bad person, not a stupid person, but someone who thinks children are our future is a profound statement. I mean, this is someone who really should stick to the script, and when she goes off it, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. I do like the song. The song is very moving.
Which one?
Children are our future. I can almost hear Whitney Houston singing it now. This is the first time I've seen Tucker smile all day. You've been so serious, Tucker.
Well,
You're the same guy who hosts Fox and Friends over the weekend.
He's a hilarious man.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
All right. Trippy hasn't smiled. He's about to get a beat down in 8 days. He's worried about
That's his game face.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Let's see in 8 days.
All right.
Oh, bring it on. That's a bring it on moment.
You want to? I'm up for any bet you got, Trippy. Whatever.
No. Look, I've said I think the Republicans probably take the Senate back.
They probably will.
But look, I would not be shocked. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's 5 seats or 8 seats. I mean, it's somewhere in there. It could be more, but don't be. I would not be shocked if they don't make it by a seat or two. These things, it's that close.
All right, Joe Trippy, thank you. We'll give you the last word. Coming up, EBOLA.